The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as Ambassador Zethkar of the Vorthak Empire read the final tally. 3,007 civilizations had voted in favor. Only 43 had voted against. The motion to exile humanity from Galactic society had passed by an overwhelming margin. "The vote is conclusive," Zethkar announced, his reptilian features betraying no emotion. "Humanity is hereby banned from all galactic trade routes, diplomatic channels, and inhabited systems. They have 30 standard cycles to comply." Murmurs of satisfaction rippled through the assembled delegates. For too long, the young species from Sol 3 had been a thorn in their collective side. Humans were unpredictable, aggressive, and worst of all, they refused to follow the established order that had kept the galaxy stable for millennia. At the human delegation table, Ambassador Elena Vasquez sat perfectly still. Her dark eyes surveyed the chamber with an expression that made several delegates shift uncomfortably in their biopods. She hadn't spoken during the entire proceeding, hadn't even attempted to defend her species. "Does the human representative wish to make a statement?" Zethkar asked, his tone suggesting he expected groveling or threats. Elena stood slowly, her movements precise and controlled. When she spoke, her voice carried clearly through the vast chamber without amplification. "You have made your decision," she said simply. "We will comply." The ease of her acceptance surprised many. The Catherian ambassador, whose crystalline form pulsed with confusion, leaned forward. "That's it? No protests? No demands for reconsideration?" Elena's smile was cold as deep space. "Why would we protest a gift?" Before anyone could ask what she meant, Elena reached into her diplomatic pouch and withdrew a small, unremarkable device. She placed it on the table with deliberate care. "This message will be transmitted to every human colony, station, and ship in the galaxy," she announced. "You wanted us gone. Consider it done." She pressed a single button. The device hummed briefly, then fell silent. "By the time your fleets reach our systems to enforce this exile," Elena continued, "they will find nothing but empty space and this message." The chamber erupted in confusion. Delegates demanded explanations, but Elena was already walking toward the exit. Her last words echoed off the chamber walls. "You should have studied our history more carefully. We've always been exceptional at making ourselves disappear when we need to." Within hours, the first reports began flooding in. The human colony on Kepler 442b had simply vanished. Orbital stations around mining worlds were gone, leaving only faint energy signatures. Trade posts that had bustled with human activity were now empty shells. Admiral Krex of the Hegemony Fleet arrived at the Sol system expecting to oversee a gradual evacuation. Instead, his sensors detected something impossible. Earth was gone. Not destroyed. Gone. Where the blue-green planet should have been, space was perfectly empty. No debris, no gravitational anomalies, no trace that a world had ever existed there. Even the moon had vanished without disturbing the orbital mechanics of the remaining planets. "This is impossible," Krex muttered, his 4 eyes wide with disbelief. "How do you hide an entire planet?" His science officer, a young Zephyrian, was frantically running scans. "Admiral, there's something here. A message buoy, broadcasting on all frequencies." The holographic image of Elena Vasquez materialized in the center of the bridge. Her expression was calm, almost serene. "To the Galactic Council and all member civilizations," her recorded voice began. You have voted to exile humanity, and we have honored your decision. We are no longer part of your galaxy. Admiral Krex felt a chill run down his spine. No longer part of your galaxy. Not no longer part of galactic society. The distinction was terrifying. Elena's image continued. For 3 centuries, we have walked among you, learned from you, traded with you. We have been the students in this cosmic classroom. But you have taught us that hospitality has limits, and trust has expiration dates. The message paused, and Elena's expression hardened. We want you to understand something about humans. We are explorers by nature, but we are survivors by necessity. Our species has endured ice ages, plagues, wars, and disasters that would have ended lesser civilizations. We have learned to adapt, to persist, and when necessary, to disappear. The hologram gestured to the empty space around them. You see the absence of Earth and think we have simply moved away. You are wrong. We have moved beyond your understanding, beyond your reach, and beyond your jurisdiction. Several of Admiral Krex's officers exchanged nervous glances. The implications were staggering. In your databases, you will find that human technology was always slightly behind the galactic standard. We let you believe this because it was convenient. In truth, we have been developing capabilities you never imagined, preparing for the day when we might need them. Elena's smile returned, colder than before. We are not angry about your vote. Anger is wasteful. We are not seeking revenge. Revenge is petty. We are simply leaving as you requested. But we want you to remember this moment. The image leaned forward, as if Elena could see directly into the eyes of everyone watching. The day may come when your galaxy faces a threat beyond your ability to handle. When your greatest civilizations tremble before forces they cannot comprehend. When your accumulated wisdom and ancient technologies prove insufficient. Her voice dropped to barely above a whisper. On that day, you might find yourselves hoping that somewhere in the vast darkness between galaxies, the exiled children of Sul are still watching, still remembering who once called them friends. The message ended abruptly, leaving only silence, and the unsettling emptiness of space where Earth had been. Admiral Krex stared at the void for a long time before ordering his fleet to withdraw. As they departed the Sol system, his sensors detected the faintest trace of an energy signature unlike anything in their databases, a signature that seemed to stretch toward the galactic edge and beyond. Back on the Council homeworld, emergency sessions were called. Some delegates demanded investigations. Others called for the exile vote to be rescinded. But deep down, they all knew the truth. Humanity had accepted their exile with a grace that was far more terrifying than any threat could have been. They had vanished with the quiet dignity of a species that had always known they were capable of existing without permission, and in the depths of space, moving beyond the galaxy's edge at speeds that defied conventional physics, the last free. Humans carried with them the knowledge that sometimes the greatest victory is knowing when to walk away. The galaxy had voted for exile. Humanity had voted with their feet. And somewhere in the dark between the stars, Elena Vasquez smiled as she watched their old home grow smaller in the view screen, knowing that her species had just begun their greatest adventure yet.